So, good morning and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Now, today, something slightly different. I'm going to do something in terms of the managers instead of the players. But obviously, Emery was sacked yesterday as Arsenal manager. If you've been sleeping on the moon and didn't know that, well, you do now. It's been absolutely everywhere. Yesterday was such a busy day. The views were unbelievable as well. Big up everyone who's watched all the streams and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of sad, but life goes on, and he had to go. It was as simple as that. I don't dislike him. I thought he ended up being a little bit out of his depth, but yeah, I think the time was right, and he fully had to go, and he has gone now. And listen, I wish him all the best. But Freddie's now in charge. He's going to take charge of the Norwich game. He took charge of training yesterday. He's going to do likewise today, and yeah. I'm kind of excited for Freddie. I don't want him full time, which is why I'm doing this stream, this video, sorry. But I don't want him full time. I'd rather have somebody who's proper qualified to do the job. Which leads me on to the first manager we're going to speak about, and that is Massimiliano Allegri. Now, this is a guy that's apparently in talks with Arsenal. We've approached him. We're trying to get him to come and have a meeting, maybe an interview, however they want to do it. Now, last time, when it was Wenger that got sacked or left or whatever, what happened, Allegri was interviewed for the job. Obviously, last time Gazidis was there, and yeah, he ended up going with Unai Emery. So I don't know whether Allegri wants to come off of his year break. I don't know whether that could be something where he says, okay, cool, but I ain't starting until the summer. Or whether we want him now, I don't know. What are the pros and cons of having Allegri? Well, the pros of having Allegri is he'd sort our defence out straight away. 100%. Yeah, his defence at Juve was solid. Absolutely watertight. Yes, they had the most money. Yes, they had the best team. Yes, they had the biggest club in Italy at the time. Still probably is now. They win everything. But what are the cons of having him? I don't know whether he speaks English. Some people say he does, some people say he doesn't. That is a massive issue if he doesn't. I think that his European record's not great at all. I think that he isn't that elite manager. Although saying that, none of the ones I'm going to speak about are elite. Yeah, I think he'd do all right. Don't get me wrong, and I'd take him. Don't get that wrong either. I would take him, but I don't think he's that elite manager that's going to elevate us to a title challenge. I may be wrong. Anyway, let's move on to number 2, and that is Carlo Ancelotti. Now, this is the guy that I wanted to replace Arsene Wenger. I wanted him all day long. Fantastic manager. His record speaks for itself as well. He's won pretty much everywhere he's been. And he's been to quite a few clubs. Obviously, he managed Chelsea. He won for them as well. And now he's managing over in Naples, at Napoli. Now, it's gone a bit sideways over there at the minute. And they're 7th in the league. Their fans are mad. Their fans are crazy. They're trying to kidnap the wives of the players and all sorts, man. It's a little bit mad. What are the pros of having him? He's a proven winner in this country as well. He'd done it in this country as well as other countries. He's managed some of the biggest teams in the world. And I think he's a very, very good manager. A very good manager. And he plays all right football, decent football. Defensively this season, Napoli have been so poor. And then looking at our defence compared to their defence is better than ours. Would he make our defence better? That is the one thing that's making me think, not too sure about him now. Whereas a year ago, I would have took him in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But listen, I think that we could do a lot worse than him, put it that way. And like I said, he does know the league. So yeah, let's move on to number 3. Number 3, Nuno Espírito Santo. Wolverhampton Wanderers manager. Fantastic style of play. The press the passing out from the back. It's all fantastic to watch. Won the championship with Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is not an easy thing to do. That's a hard league. Literally half of that, maybe even over half of that league can actually win the league. And he won it in style. They then come up and they get into the Europa League spots. They beat a couple of big teams along the way, including us. In fact, they didn't beat us. They toyed with us and fully slapped us about. So yeah, I think that obviously after that, it's okay. Are you a one-season wonder in the Premier League? He's then kicked on again, whilst juggling the Europa League, by the way, which I think they've qualified out of the group for now. And they're fifth in the table. So he's not just a one-season wonder. Now, yes, he's not won anything other than the championship. And that's a bit of a worry. But I do think he's got the potential to go up levels. And I do think that he could easily manage any of them top 6 teams. Although saying that, we're not quite a top 6 team right now. So yeah. But yeah, I do think that I don't think he'd be really good. Now, like I said, the good side is that they play good football and all that. The bad side is he's never won anything. He's never managed a massive football club. No disrespect to the clubs he's been at, by the way. And that is a big issue. And he's at a club now. Like I said, he's at Wolves. And we'd fully have to pay compensation to get him out of that. And all of his staff if he wanted to bring him. So that's probably up there as one of the most expensive options. Obviously, Ancelotti's in a job as well. So that's an expensive option. Is it worth the expense? Let me know. Let's move on to the next option. And that is Rafa Benitez. Man's over in China. Eating good, baby, on that Chinese wedge. Fully got slapped 2 nights ago. 5-1. 5-1, you know. It's like Anfield all over again. But I'd take Rafa. I'd take him. Again, he's managed 3 Premier League teams. His English is fantastic. He has managed other teams outside of England and done well at them. I think that tactically he's very good. He's very loyal though, which is why I don't think he will come. That's obviously the pros. What are the downsides to Rafa Benitez? The downsides, I think that defensively at times his teams are not great, hence the 5-1 last night. I didn't watch that, I haven't seen any of the goals. But when he was over here, defensively, he weren't great. He was not great at all. When you look at Liverpool, yes, he got them to the Champions League final, etc., and they won it. But in the league, they were poor at times. And I mean real poor at times. And that's still a worry. At Newcastle, obviously, the size of the club, the size of the finances, I thought he'd done fantastic, though. Don't get me wrong. At Chelsea, he was booed on his opening day against Man City at the Stamford Bridge. And at the end of that season, he won them the Europa League and the FA Cup. So he can work under pressure. I think he'd be a good fit. I do. But sometimes defensively a bit shocking. Let's move on to last out of my 5 that we're going to speak about, and that is Mauricio Pochettino. Now, for me, the pros of him are the fact that, number 1, he's available, so you don't have to pay for him. Number 2, he got Tottenham thinking like they're a big club now. Number 3, qualified them for Champions League every season. And they played decent football. And he promoted the youth. So fair play. What are the downsides? He was sacked by that lot for not being good enough in the end. Left them 14th. And they wanted better than that. They wanted better than Poch. The other downsides to him are he's never won a trophy. Ever. Nothing. Zip. Nada. And I just look at it and think that, well, if you weren't good enough for them, and we think we're bigger than them, act bigger than him. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say on it. But listen, I've given you 5 options. 5. You let me know which one you think would be the best out of them 5. I think if I was to pick one out of them 5, I think Rafa or Nuno, although all of them, apart from Poch, I'd take. So there we go. Listen, I'll be back later on with a couple of live streams. One of them will be the preview for the Norwich game, which Freddie's going to be in charge of. Come on, Freddie. We've got a legend in charge at the minute. Leave all your comments down below. Subscribe. Go and follow the socials. I'll be back later. Have a wonderful Saturday. Laters, peeps.